Hello and welcome back to The Impossible Dream with the mighty Iron Scunthorpe United. I'm your host, Bood FM, and as always, thanks for joining me. It's massively appreciated, as is all the other stuff you do for me. I know you know what to do by now. It all helps the channel grow, the series get out there, and I do appreciate it. I really, really do. But most of all, thank you for your view. So, Season 3. This has been massively enjoyable. Friday was epic. To just sit there practically 8 hours and bash it through. Thursday night I did all the transfers and then I finished it off Saturday morning, but I'm going to put it out on Sunday, give it a bit of time. But yeah, Friday, man, I swear to God, just that peace and freedom, nothing but me, the dog, and Football Manager, man. But it was good. It's been a good season, as in I've just enjoyed it. I've got into it. I found a lot of players. There's a lot of turnaround. I've kind of fine-tuned a few little things as well. And hopefully we can do better than last year and at least get into them playoffs. So we've got tons to get through, so let's get into it. So we're going to start here. It's the 9th of August. The season is about to start. I've done pre-season, and at this point all my ins and outs for now are sorted. Now I was wondering, would this club and the board or the chairman ever put any investment in? Well, they did. It was around $500,000 to help with the running costs. Now we've also sold a lot of players. Some at first I wasn't going to sell, but you know, bids came in. I think most of the money we brought in though was from 2 sales really, but I was very happy, and I had a little bit of a plan that I was getting up to in the last episode which I didn't talk about. Now that plan, I've done this before, is to look at all the Premier League teams' young players who are coming to the end of their contract, players that are nowhere near good enough for a Premier League team. Well, there's loads of them get released every single year. So you get a bit of knowledge on them. And you're not going to get them all, but we might have got a few to help us along the way. Owen Foster, our goalkeeper, left. Now, Huddersfield are interested. I did mention that. But it was Reading who bought him for around a quarter, potentially, eventually, of £1 million, which to us is massive. Now, he was all right, but there are keepers out there just as good, if not better, for free. Owen Farmer as well. Forest Green came in with 150 grand. Now I signed him on a free last year, and he was my backup striker, and even he played quite a few games, as you could probably tell. Wasn't very prolific, so I thought 150 grand, I'm taking it. Now I've sold quite a lot, 30s, 10, 40s. This one I wasn't necessarily going to, just because, you know, he scored goals for us, 48 and 68 in the league. He scored lots in the cup as well. But at 26, and as well, you know, you start finding other players. When a bid came in, I just thought he had to go, but I'm mentioning him because, you know, he was a ledge. So if we go over to the transfer page, a couple of them are over on last year's list. It don't carry over, does it? So we did make quite a bit of money. I've sold quite a few. Some of them I've put up for sale. Some I've took a bit less money for. Some have just come in with bids, other teams, and I've said, yeah, go on, sod it, because I knew what I could potentially get. And I like the idea of freshening it up. I like that challenge of it. And I brought in a lot of players. These are all the players I've brought in on a free, some pre-contract, some released, some from Premier League teams. Obviously not good enough for the Premier League, but I think they'll be good enough for us. So I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible. Feel free to pause it, but I'm going to run you through at least my main 22. New goalkeeper released by Brighton. Apparently he played for England's under-15s and under-16s. Released by Brentford, Vincent Angelini. Now, the other lad looks better on paper, but I just felt like Vincent, when I played different games, he's better. He's got a bit more potential. My assistant likes him more as well. At right back, we've still got Maxwell Chukwudi, one of our own. Our main right back is still going to be Regan Riley, here for another season. Good player, very versatile player as well. At left back, we've still got everyone's favourite Irishman, Mason O'Malley. And we've signed Scott Gordon, released by Leeds United. At centre half, Tom Wilson-Brown, he's still here, was released by Leicester last year. He's got a minimum fee of $500,000. There was a team, I can't remember, who offered me 78 grand, and it upset him because we're a league club. Our Debbie, still here, decent. We've signed Timmy. I think he was released by Bradford, but I think he looks really good, even though his stars are a bit. And Taylor Ferran, I like this lad, 6'4", probably going to be him and Wilson as my main two. released by Arsenal. In the middle, I was going to start the season with about 5 players. Things do change in January, but we'll get to that later. Niall Brookwell is still here. Harrison Neal is still here for now. Kevin Jones, one of my youngsters that I decided to keep. You might have noticed the 2 youngsters, regen youngsters. I've given them faces. Adds a bit more character, doesn't it? We have a new boy, Jamie McDonnell from Northern Ireland, released by Nottingham Forest. I'm absolutely buzzing about this one. Arjun Raki, that's what I'm going for. Used to be at Villa. I think he joined West Brom. They've released him. But I'm happy about this because I think he's the first ever Indian player I've ever had, and I just think that is proper cool. What else is cool? And I was buzzing with this. I like this. Is Ben Cottrell. You'll know he was on £2 a week. He started on a lower wage. It had gone up with a wage rise. I was thinking of just moving him on. He's a good player though, handy player. And I just thought, do you know what? I'll offer him a contract to see what's what. And I didn't have to change it. He accepted himself, he wanted it himself. A 700 grand a week pay decrease and was happy to stay. Released by Greeno's second team, good old friend Greeno, Swindon. It's Morgan Roberts. We've got Nico O'Reilly, released by Manchester City. Kean Edwards, released by Arsenal. I like this lad because he's just decent, I think, and he plays a striker, he can play on the wing. James Balagizi, what a name, what a player. Love his hair, by the way. My friend at work, he's got a big afro. He's just had it all like dready braided. It's mint, looks mint. But yeah, released by Liverpool. He was on loan at Salford last year. Ryan Cassidy, released by Lincoln. Now, I like the look of him, but then I end up changing my mind, and he might not actually be here for the whole season. And Divin Mumbama, released by West Ham. Again, good player, lots of potential. It's brilliant, this. I love it. Because for just short of £30,000, you can put a squad together on a free. Now, like I said, there's a lot of players I missed out on because I am still a non-league team. I think we're a big club in this at this level, obviously, and I've signed some great players. But a lot of these lads, I was going in for them with other non-league teams. So I was really happy. Some of them chose us, some of them chose other teams. Obviously, there was guys that were really good, and you know, I'm going on them, and they're willing to talk to me. And I'm offering them £800 to £1,000 a week, and then a league club comes in and offers them more, or it's a league club. Do you know what I mean? So it is frustrating, but I was really pleased, right? Now, I have knocked this a million times on my channel about it being inaccurate sometimes, or not a true reflection. But when I saw this, because we're favourites to win the league, and I was like, wow, I knew we were a lot better, got better players, young, exciting team for this level, but I didn't think we'd be favourites, right? We were favourite to be 9th last year, and we actually ended up 9th. So can we do this? Well, the board are just happy with the top half finish. The FA Cup, I would like to get into that proper. And the English FA Trophy, once I've seen the squad I've got, and I looked at the odds in the league, I thought we might have a good chance of that as well. Pre-season, nothing fancy. A few decent teams, a few easy teams. Hibs, a good club, you expect them to beat us, so we drew there, battered a couple of nobodies. But we didn't get beat, and it gave me a chance to look at a lot of players and see stuff. But what I like about this squad as well is, you might notice, there's a lot of variety. I can mix it a lot, especially at the front of the pitch. And I do. There's times when, because of fitness or whatever, I can just change it around all the time. Players can drop back into midfield, go up front, go on a wing. The defence is quite similar as well, so I felt good about it. The squad was a bit smaller than last year in total. There's no one in the reserves. After episode 2 finished and I started playing the next season, we had a news flash. A dreaded news flash that our training facilities were being downgraded because of modern technological advancements, or whatever it says to you. You've seen it before in your own saves. It's a bit of a kick in the balls because it's just a step backwards and there's nothing I can do about that. So I thought we need to raise some more money. Now, there was a rumour that Arjun, the Indian player, only really signed for us because he's a massive cricket fan and he's hoping to bump into Ian Botham in the players' lounge, right? So I thought, right, let's sort this out. So we organised an event called Bood and Beefy, where people could pay, come down, have a meal, listen to Ian talk about playing for Scunthorpe and playing cricket, get autographs and pictures with him and me, although most people just want pictures with him. I think one old lady had a picture with me, but it doesn't matter, we raised a bit of money. So it got me thinking, and we had another night as well, the day before. We got Kevin Keegan down, legend that is Kevin Keegan, a bit of a meet and greet. He did an after dinner speech, again, autographs and photos, just trying to get those big celebrity ex-former players in to generate a bit of news, a bit of money. Hopefully it'll work for the rest of the season. We also signed a new sponsorship and kit deal with Dell and Adidas. So yeah, we've got a completely new kit range which you can buy down at the club shop. We can't, but imagine you could. I love these, by the way. We've got to give a big shout out to my friend Greeno, aka Lee Greenshields, for doing it for me. I might freshen it up every couple of years, keep it different. I like it. I wanted a new look. There's a lot of positivity now around this club. Do you know what I mean? A lot of hope that we can do something this year. We're jumping forward, but to the 4th of August, just to share this with you. We had a couple of injuries, and of course, you know, you're scouting all these players. I was scouting them in the top divisions who were getting released. Not just the youngsters, anyone. And Adam Phillips initially didn't want to sign for us, but it got into October, right? And no one's picked him up. And I think he's good. Very versatile, and I want these kind of players that can cover in different positions, and he definitely does. He plays in like 4 different ones. And we're not at the halfway stage yet, right? But I had to save it at this point just to share with you the 2 games I'd gone through at that moment, because they were brilliant and hopefully showed some of the character maybe we're going to have this season. And the first one was against Woking. Now, if you just look at that, they scored 2, right? And had 1 disallowed. And at half time, I'm thinking, shit. But look at that for a fight back. It was a full-on kitchen sink, kicking them up the arse. And then in the next game, Cottrell had a bad one. Again, letting an early goal, thinking, shit. But we put on a comeback, I give them a kick up the arse, and they listened to me. But is this my season? Am I chasing my arse? Or are we doing well? By the 1st of Jan, the bookies were right. This was mint. Now, maybe it's because I was able to just sit there. First half, just go through it, right? And just play it. And obviously, I'm playing it at the same kind of speed. I want to get it done as quick as possible. But I don't know. I just felt like maybe I was just a bit more chilled about it. But I've got the players. The players have really bonded and kicked on. And we, at this moment, right, we were 10 points clear of Maidenhead. 10 points clear. If we go over to the results, right, that first game made me think, wow, I've cracked it. 6-0. Brilliant. And then I came straight back down to earth, and you're thinking, oh, maybe not. But then we went on a great run until Yeovil. We got beat. Again, another run, undefeated, picking up a couple of draws. But it is what it is. And you can see we got beat off Barnet 3-2. And you're wondering, you know, it's starting to get a bit sketchy. And then they're the 2 comeback games. And that just kicked us right on. Look at that. Until my last game against Dagenham and Redbridge. Go back. Beat them 6-0 at home. Got beat 2-1 away. It's a funny old game, isn't it? How that whole money-making thing was a bit of a joke. And it was inspired when I looked at the finances at this stage, because our sponsorship had gone up about nearly 200 grand. But it was match day income was at the same level now, halfway through a season, as it was for the entirety of last season, right? And there's a few other things at the same level, like more money's coming in, like people are spending more, it's just working out better for us. So, you know, we're losing money, but nowhere near as fast. And if we look at the squad arranged by average rating, you can just see, I think I had 2 players who were just edging in to a green, like over a 7 average rating. This year, I've got an absolute ton, but there's just loads more quality. Now, a lot of these players, especially the ones that have been released by Premier League teams, wanted minimum fees, and I couldn't do anything about it. But their minimum fees all average around from 400,000 to $500,000. So even if I lost them, even how good if they're really good, and someone comes in the summer and matches it, that's mega money for us. It won't hurt my feelings at all, because I think I could probably find a replacement. So jump forward to the 10th of Feb now, just to share my staff. Now, you'll know it was okay, right? And I wasn't touching it. I didn't want to waste money. But at the end of last season, everyone's contracts ended, and they were all on rolling contracts, and no one got poached off me. And it was okay. They were okay, right? But I thought, you know what, maybe it's time to fine tune this and go through it and see what I can do. Director of football. Don't know if you're a Wolves fan. You might not like him, but I think he's good. For £675 a week, he's a massive improvement on what we had. And I got myself a new assistant manager who was a coach, but he's got better stats as an assistant. Been a coach at Luton, been around the block a bit, hasn't he? The only one I kept, I think, was my fitness coach, because he was okay, to be fair, and I couldn't get anyone better. Apart from that, I've got a new goalkeeper coach, Obviously, kept the fitness, got 2 new coaches in, got performance analysts in, all that good stuff. I was just disappointed I couldn't expand the scouting team, but you know, it is what it is. Medical team's better now as well. We need it. This could really help us. So Ryan Cassidy, bless him, wasn't playing. Couldn't get in the team. Only been here half a season. And Shelbourne offered me 29 grand for him. And I wanted to change it up a bit. He was only on £800 a week for me. He's on 2.2 grand for them. Harrison Neal left around 100 grand or something. So they weren't playing. And when bids come in, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do that. Now it's the 28th of March and I wanted to free up a bit of wages just to make sure I could sign my youth intake. The bad thing is, it was worse than last year. I wouldn't have minded last year's youth intake. Someone asked if I could sign them. They were still out there. They've all disappeared, which is unfortunate. I've just signed them all as bad as they are. I'd also, by this stage, had a couple of injuries. I needed a right back. Now, these guys aren't the best, but they were out there. I didn't spot them at first. Maybe I didn't like them at first, but they're free, and I picked them up just to help kick on for the remainder of the season. And Ben Warman, who, you know, he's okay. Been at some decent clubs at Cambridge for absolutely ages. He's still only 24. Maybe losing Cassidy as a striker, and I had a couple of midfielders injured as well. I just thought he can go right through that middle and just cover. 15 points clear. 15. I haven't got a top goal scorer nearly. Mr. Edwards there. I got the best player though, James here. Look at him, 14 assists. I think the record's 21. He's going to have a challenge on his hands to try and get there, but he kept mentioning it back end of the season that he's getting closer, putting pressure on him. Mr. Miller, the lad, he got released by Leeds, I think. He's a good player. Good players. And it's a good way to do it, and I recommend it. Like I said, you won't get them all, but you will pick up some players who are discarded by Premier League teams. But this was brilliant for a club like us, our size, with our players. It was like winning the FA Cup because it was mind-bogglingly brilliant, right? We beat Curzon Ashton. We should be beating Curzon Ashton, but only 1-0. And then a drew Stockport County, who at this moment in time are in League One. League One, and we battered them 5-1. Then we got Millwall, who are in League One, 2 divisions above us, and we beat them 2-0. Then we got Oxford, who are in League One. I mean, I kept thinking this run's going to end, and it nearly did. 1-1. Devin getting us a goal in the 77th minute, bringing it back to Glanford Park, where we just... I wish that I'd been a live comp. When I jump around and get excited in a live comp, trust me, I do it at home too, because look at it. 1-0 down the entire game, score in the 92nd minute, and then for some mad reason, get 3. This game is mental sometimes. But then we got Bournemouth. But from that glory run in the FA Cup, I was a bit sad about this because I felt like we could do well in it. And I felt like we could do well in it because, you know, we should be. We could do. But we got knocked out by Barrow. Because about 3 or 4 days earlier, or whatever it was, a week, I can't remember, we played them in the league. I played Barrow back to back and we beat them 1-0 at their place. I'm thinking, we'll definitely do them in the cup then, and we didn't. So gutted about that. But in the league, again, we've been alright. We had a bit of a bad patch. We got beaten at Derby though. Look at that. Yeah. At home. Probably a bit of a black mark, a red cross on my CV with the fans, but it's okay. Beating Kidderminster was good. Destroyed one of my former teams from another series many moons ago, Oldham 5-3. But we've got a good run here, and the amount of points we've got have a great chance of wrapping up the league before the season finishes. And you may have noticed my next game was against Fylde, and we battered them 5-0 at home. 5-0. Which meant the table looked like this. 14 points clear with our playoff place secured. So that's already better than last year. We now have to face Barnet away, who beat us at home 3-2. If we win this, we win the league. We will clinch the title. Bits of pressure, and of course, I'm going to attempt to do a live con with it, and hopefully we can share it together. Everyone's thinking we're going to win. Pressure, man. I love it though. Now then, a quick disclaimer. Some of you know how I get through my seasons quick. I've talked about my methods a million times. Every now and again I get a doubter who think I'm like some other YouTubers who simulate the seasons. Now I don't. I have fine-tuned how I play for YouTube so I can get a video out every few days, and I've really worked my ass off to do that. But, you know, some people don't believe you because, you know, they compare you to themselves. And when you're just playing at home, chilling, you can maybe take you a week. You've not got any time pressure, have you? Like I have. I'm always happy to explain it. If you want to fly for a season dead quick, get in touch with me. I'll explain everything I do. But this is just a little proof thing. Now you got to remember, if you simulate a season, your manager doesn't get any stats, won't win any manager of the months. It'll all go to your assistant. So I can't always be asked proving myself. But now and again I feel like I have to show you a little bit. So then we are out of the cups. The FA Trophy is still a disappointment to me, I'll be honest with you, but I'm so proud of that FA Cup, man. That was awesome. What a run. But we have a chance here of winning the league and getting this club back into the Football League, and we could just kick on there. I'm just going to keep trying to get players on a free, try and get this club on a great financial footing and keep attacking, then release players from the Premier League. Why not? Because I think there's a couple of goodies that we might pick up in the summer. Well, welcome to the Hive Stadium against Barnet. Very excited for this. Now, I don't know if you noticed on the squad page then, we've got quite a lot of injuries, quite a lot of guys coming back. And Phillips is going to have to play in the middle, even though he's coming back, but he was the best out of a bad bunch. Apart from that, we're going for this. I've got my two best forward strikers / wingers on the pitch. A lot of goals in them too. So let's go. Now, Greeno did make me 3D kits, but I can't get them working. I normally do. I don't know why. I'm not too fussed about that. But I do like just freshening the kits up. Here we go, corner ball. Roberts to take it. But yeah, honestly, it's giving me a lot of joy, this. I do like different saves, like doing different things. Like I did Boone's Boca Boys, a series I've always wanted to do. Going to South America, Argentinian football. I love that. I love the whole concept of that series, only signing Argentinian players and staff. And I mean, wow, I did wonders with that. Became world champions with a fully Argentinian team, and then going and building a team like Union Berlin and going down a different route of using the 50 WONDERKID lists. And once we got a bit of money, just buying top class young players and built a team. And I will never get over that Champions League final against Bayern Munich. So hopefully we can keep this momentum going, but with a different thing, a different level, different country, lower level English football, going out on freebies, trying to, build some finances into this club. If we're never going to get a takeover, we're making money now. So I'm hoping getting to the Football League, we'll start making more money. Get in. I mean, we've already made more money this year, but I'm hoping next year budgets will get bigger. Maybe they'll invest a bit more, because I think it was 566 grand they put in, which helps because they're not before that. So I'm hoping for a similar thing. Maybe sell a few players on. It'll be full profit. Oh my god. I mean, somebody like Devin Mumbama, if you were doing an Arsenal save, you'd be looking at him thinking, haha, you ain't never getting anywhere at this club. But for us, he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it's when it comes together like this, you think back to a lot of them other guys who said no or chose somebody else. And I'm glad they did, because maybe I wouldn't have had him. I might have had someone else. Oh, this is way better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I've got a few players moaning, like Miller and so on. They want to play in a different role or a different position, and they've been so flexible with it. They get a bit miffed, but I'm alright with that. I think I've had such a turnaround of players the last 2 years. A lot of these guys have got, they're not on 1 year deals. If no one comes in and matches their minimum fees, the guys who've got them, I'll keep the majority of these together, and I think they could do half decent in the next league. Why not? It's half time. 3-0. We nearly got our hands on that trophy. As always, thank you for returning. Not everyone does. Episode 1s always do okay, and there's always a drop off. It's you guys I cared about, the guys who stick with this stuff and support me all the way through. And I've got so many good subscribers. I've got guys who comment on every video, and then I get guys that every now and again will say, "Oh, Boo, I've watched you for years. I've never commented. I just want to send you a message and just say thank you for your stuff you do," and that makes my day. Now, I'm not expecting you, if you never comment, to comment, but like I always say, I just appreciate your view and the support. And yeah, look at this, Cottrell. Oh my god, well done, Ben. I mean, we've had some blips, but for the majority of the season they've been fantastic, and we deserve this trophy. And I've loved watching how they've come together. I'm hating how my game's getting a little bit jittery again. It's doing me head in. I've done all sorts with my bloody graphics card now. And ooh, that was close. I've just made 3 changes just to freshen up a bit. I think I took a yellow card off as well. 4-0 up, why not? Give some guys a run out. Of course, I mean, unless Barnet perform a miracle, we're going to win the league here, which gives me a lot more flexibility with what... Oh, good, fair play. That was good, that Palmer. Like I was trying to say, it'll give me much more flexibility to maybe rotate a bit, or I might just go for it. I've got all day today. I could just go through them games. I might just try and get as many freaking points as possible. Let's try and break records, you know what I mean? I don't want to lose points for no reason. Now, it said we could get the title, didn't it? It did say we could. Now, I'm guessing that's an other result thing, and they haven't gone our way. It must be. One thing, though, you got to admit, Grimsby beat us. They're up there with us. I'm kind of hoping they do come up with us. We'll win the playoffs. So we have derbies next year. But yeah, the title's not ours yet, is it? No, even though I've got the best striker, best player. Look at Mr. James Balagise. How do you say that? Balagise. We're at home in the next game against Woking, who we beat 3-2 at their place early on in the season. I ain't got time for another live com, but maybe we can share a trophy lift together. Man, I've had my doubts during this game. Look at it. Goal disallowed, then they scored. They were dominating it for the first half. Another goal disallowed, but then Edwards and Mbama getting us 2. We've got a highlight here, well into injury time. Let's not balls this up. A win is surely enough. A draw might have been enough. I didn't really look into the complex maths of it. But here he is, Miller on the ball. Come on, lad. Let's kill the game off right on the def. Godden into the box. No. And hey! Woohoo, the Iron. The Iron. We are back in the Football League. It's taken me 3 seasons straight up in my first. Last year was a bit of a, you know, finding our feet, starting to get the gist of it. This year, found some fantastic players that came together as a team. Great FA Cup run, capped off with a championship, and we're back where we belong as a Football League club. The real work, though, will start now, but we're going to enjoy this, man. So Scunthorpe fans are thanking me. There's no need to thank me. It was an absolute pleasure. They've set the budget. Ooh. I'm not worried about transfer budget. It's that wage. 38 grand a week. That's 10 grand more than I've got now. So 96 points and we are champions, but the season is far from over. And I've thought about it. I'm going for this. Best team out every single game. Sod you guys who haven't had a game. I'm not giving you one. I want to get 100 points and more. I want to do this. I want to break records and go up in absolute style. So I've played my 5 final games and then I've holidayed to the 1st of June so we can hopefully wrap it all up and look at everything. But we battered Torquay. Battered York. We annihilated Bromley. Had like 30 chances. Domination. They had 3 shots, 1 on target, and beat me. And 10 men. Anyway, for most of the game. But we bounced back. We beat Aldershot in style 4-1. And then Solihull Moors, last game of the season, won 4-1. Giving us 108 points. The record in-game was, I think, Crawley with 105. So that is a nice little achievement. Kidderminster to beat Woking in the playoff final, so it's us and them going into the Football League. And who we're going to be playing? Well, all these teams that are obviously still in the division. Hartlepool and Bolton are taking our places in non-league. And if we look at League 1 to see who's going to be coming down, could be some good ones. Let's have a look. We've got Cheltenham, Stockport. Stockport have been relegated. And Torquay went on to win the FA Trophy. Rooming them wages, but they're going to, I reckon they're probably going to get eaten up by promotion wage rises from staff to all my players, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the team I've got. I think it could easily survive in League 2, but there might be business to be done. There always is business to be done, but that's for the next episode. Kane Edwards getting player of the season. He was fantastic. He was really, really good. Very happy to pick him up. Hopefully we can get a few more Kane Edwards. Also winning top goal scorer, which is brilliant. Backed up by my other striker. So, yeah, don't get any much better than that, is it? And I was named Manager of the Year. It just all came together, didn't it? It was a perfect storm of 3 signings and glory, and I'm so proud, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get going. So I'm pretty conscious that could be a long one. I'm not edited it yet, but I will get to work and get it out as soon as possible. But thank you. If you're brand new, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you all hit the bell and you won't miss episode 4. If you want to help me out anymore, just, you know, thumbs up, comments, anything like that. You want to become a patron, you find a link to that down below. That is massive. But most of all, thank you for your view. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully you've enjoyed this enough and you want to know what happens next. You're going to come back for season 4, episode 4, which again, I will try and get out as quick as possible. I've got a day off again on Monday, so I'll be right at it because I am loving it. So yeah, you stay happy, you stay safe. The Iron are back in the Football League. Woohoo! Could get good this, you know.